All this week, as we draw nearer to Halloween, I'll be sharing macabre stories from history.
In Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the eponymous doctor states that, quote, "the dissecting room and the slaughterhouse furnished many of my materials," end quote. He also confesses to raiding graveyards and charnel houses, vaults where corpses and bones are stored, often to free up space in crowded graveyards, for the various body parts necessary in the creation of his monster.
And sure, that sounds truly macabre, but Shelley didn't pluck that particular element of her novel from her prodigious imagination. That sort of thing happened a lot in the 18th and 19th centuries.
As medicine advanced and more medical schools opened up across Europe and the United States, doctors faced a dilemma. No one wanted to be operated on by surgeons whose only education came from studying books. But the only way to get first-hand experience was from dissecting real cadavers. Executed criminals were routinely donated by the state, but the demand far outpaced the supply.
What was an aspiring Victorian surgeon to do?
The answer was a practice known as body snatching. Medical schools turned increasingly to thieves known as resurrectionists, who would dig up freshly buried bodies to sell. Not surprisingly, the practice led to public outrage, but the authorities frequently turned a blind eye. To prevent the bodies of their loved ones from being disturbed, people came up with all sorts of ingenious solutions. Cemeteries began to build multi-story watchtowers that were crewed at night. They designed morthouses, impenetrable structures in which bodies were allowed to decompose for several months before being buried, making them useless to body snatchers. And large coffin-shaped stones, known as mortstones, were frequently placed on top of graves. But the most popular means of keeping grave robbers out was a mort safe or a mort cage, extremely heavy rod and plate contraptions bolted into place above a grave. After 6 weeks or so, when the body was sufficiently decayed, the cages were removed. Mort safes were so expensive that churches and other groups regularly rented them out.
As new laws were passed providing medical schools with unclaimed bodies from jails, hospitals, and poorhouses, body snatching began to decline. In the 20th century, as people began leaving their bodies to science, the practice became obsolete.
Many mort safes remain, especially in Scotland, where they were most popular. Over time, people forgot what the devices were for, leading some to suggest that they were placed over coffins not to keep people out, but to keep zombies and vampires in.
As always, the truth is far more interesting. Stay curious, my friends.